Hey there guys, how's it going? My name is Sumat Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I want to speak about the most common mental block that I see in a lot of my clients. And this is the statement of, that's just not me, or people like me aren't good at this. At the end of the day, this is an identity level block. Right? You just don't feel like the kind of person that has those results yet. So even though you want to get a fit body, you'll be like, that's just not me. I'm just not a gym type of person. Or I'm not a healthy person. That's just not me. Though you truly crave and desire that thing, it's just not in your identity. Or you could say that, oh yeah, I do want to be more social with people and I want to get along and start being much more friendly with people. However, that's just not me. I'm just not a very friendly person. I'm not a very social person. I'm an introvert, right? Now, I fell into this pattern a lot in my own life. I constantly would tell myself, that's just not me. I don't feel like I could be a coach. I can't be a type of person who could sell. I can't be the type of person who does this, does that. I can't be the type of person who has a social media following. All these things, they're all coming from this internal insecurity based on your own identity. And whenever you feel you leaning into that identity, it's up to you to challenge yourself to be able to confront that identity and actually call it out for, is this actually legit? Is this true? Is this necessary? Is this kind? Right? And once you ask yourself those three questions, if they're not either of those, you don't have to accept that reality. All right. So the first thing is, I fell into this mental block when I first became an entrepreneur. It took me a while to get started. I was convinced that, people like me, I wasn't really the type of business person. And so I felt I would be bad at selling, or though I relished the thought of it, I didn't actually think that I could do it based on my identity level block. All right, so what I did is I reached out to other coaches that were in my niche and similar to me. And by speaking to them, I found palatable ways in which I could identify with them and find connections with them. And they actually pointed me in a very, very great direction. A lot of times, when I started out doing, free coaching calls and things like that when I first began, I would just reach out to dozens of coaches and just see their perspective on things. Just have a conversation with them. Right? A lot of these coaches have these strategy sessions, right, where you can just get a lot of free value from them. And that's what I did. I got their perspective on a lot of different areas. And in the beginning, I wasn't really, investing in coaches at that time. However, I was just learning from, and I was getting perspective. I was getting perspective from everyone in the industry. And, that gave me a lot of trust in myself and in my own identity, because once you have that perspective from a lot of people, you are going to feel a lot more comfortable stepping into the type of lifestyle and the dream life that you want. All right. Now, a lot of people say, get over yourself, right? So this is an ego level block. And in the flow state, you have to have that selflessness. In order for you to let go of your ego and achieve ego death, and a lot of people do this through various means, right? Some people, do this with like a flotation tank or cryogenic chamber, or like in a sauna, or like, microdosing, or whatever they're doing, whatever mechanism that they're using to get into an altered state, whether that be ecstatic dance, breathwork, etc. All you're doing is you are shedding away the identity, right? You're removing this persona and this idea of who you think you are, so you can become who you think you might be. Because who you think you might not be fully ingrained in yourself. So I'm going to give you a few techniques to tweak this, to have you step into the identity that you prefer. Okay, so the first thing is character development, really working on building a character that you truly admire. You don't respect someone that you don't want to be like. So essentially, you're going to want to find out people that you want to respect. And when I say want to respect, I mean find people that you want to be like genuinely seek them out, right? Because you are going to get so many clarifications and ideas from that it will get you to really stay solid and be a little bit more open to exploring new avenues and new ways in which you can fine-tune and sharpen your personality, all right? The second thing that I would say is be able to get into much more ego death experiences, all right? So find ways that you're stepping out of your identity and getting into an altered state. And that state change, you're basically regaining your momentum. So a state change can quickly get you to get over any mental blocks, right? So once you harmonize your mind with your body, you're able to reach that peak state. And oftentimes it's just a little activity that we need to break ourselves out of that pattern, that old pattern. And ultimately, it's the framework that we operate in life, right? Your identity is kind of what will decide what you want to do. So when someone says, that, oh yeah, I tried reading, that's not going to be as powerful as someone who says, I'm a reader, right? Someone who truly identifies and embodies being a reader and a type of person who steps into that identity or that role of being a reader and what that means. So you might be like, oh man, I'm not a reader, I'm not that type of person. The more you keep saying that, the more that's the wall around your identity, right? That's the barrier, that's the mental block that is getting you to stay in the same place. And we often don't see that, but from an outside perspective, if you're getting other people's perspective, give them an ability and a chance, an opportunity to give you feedback. Because that immediate feedback is going to get you to sharpen and really stretch that boundary of that comfort zone and that edge so you can lean into more of who you truly prefer, right? And so, use it as an advantage. Use your state management as an advantage in your life, all right? The second thing is to come back to the present moment, all right? So oftentimes, we're worried about an identity in the past, and that's latched onto our current identity. We feel that we are the same person that we were. I see the biggest mistake that people make is people try to get more money, try to get a better body, try to get all these things, but they're thinking from their old past self. They're still acting from that place. So in order for you to step into the new identity, you have to act from a new identity, a new standpoint, a new perspective place. So just because you read one book, it doesn't mean you're going to be in an abundance mindset. Right? You're going to be in abundance mindset as you read the book, but then once you stop reading, you get back into scarcity. It's the same with meditation. You meditate for 10 minutes, but then you get back into a scarcity pattern. So noticing that pattern and constantly getting yourself to maintain that new identity and really being able to reprogram your subconscious mind. This is where subconscious reprogramming becomes such an ideal tool for you to truly shape the type of lifestyle that you want, right? So, you want to become much more proactive with your problem-solving strategies like this. The third thing is to notice the signs of a breakthrough, all right? Actually, what I notice is the more frustrated that I feel in my life, the more closer to a breakthrough that I am. And so once you feel like you're getting really fed up and frustrated, just know you're on the brink of something. All right, something is about to shatter, and you're about to step into this new version of you. So never worry, never be too stressed out, like, oh man, I feel frustrated, I feel stressed out. Well, this is your barrier, right? And it's a vague sensation of discontentment, but then once you're reaching your limit, you have to give something up, right? And as you realize you're fed up, you've had enough. And as you've had enough, these feelings grow and evolve to overcome any obstacles. So the suffering becomes kind of like a fuel, right, in a way. So you're using it intentionally as a way for your feelings to signal that breakthrough, knowing that, hey, this breakthrough, this glass ceiling, this potential that I'm trying to reach is right around the corner. So just when you say, I'm about to quit, I feel like quitting, that's when you got to push a little bit extra to be able to push forward, right? So maybe you're digging and digging and digging and the diamond is right there, but then if you give up in that moment of frustration, you're going to get back into the struggle phase of the flow cycle, right? So as you just push past that struggle phase, you will get into release and really be able to maintain that flow state, right? So about reprogramming, we have to understand how to get over this, right? So developing mindfulness is very advantageous in this situation. As I mentioned, coming back to the present moment, writing down exactly what you're thinking and feeling. And when your limiting beliefs come up, genuinely replacing them with empowering beliefs, right? So from a feeling of limited emotions to elevated emotions, you want to visualize where you want to go and surround yourself in an environment that is actually conducive to your clarity and much more clear as to where you want to go, right? So the same thing is true if, to beat mental exhaustion, you want to become very organized and set realistic expectations of yourselves you want to set realistic expectations for yourself and also the people around you, all right? So the environment around you. So rethink how you spend your energy and how you create a schedule for you to thrive on. Right now you might have a schedule, but it's not a thriving schedule, it's a coping schedule. Right? Coping schedule is just like, oh, I'm just doing these things to get by. I have to hand in this assignment, and so I'm pushing myself to do it. That's a coping schedule. A thriving schedule is like, I have inbuilt different things in there that actually help me gain momentum and energy throughout the day. Right? Things like cold shower, meditation, like you have these in different pockets of the day to get yourself back into feeling really good and having so much discipline, discipline coming from the word disciple that I found out recently, coming from the word pupil, right? So, understanding that you want to be a disciple of God, right? You want to be a disciple of the universe. You want to step into fully, having your workplace, wherever that is, operate on an optimal efficiency. And by taking control of your environment, you'll be able to progress and get rid of those mental blocks. It's not only one thing, right? It permeates. So how you do one thing is how you do everything. So you showing up and being late to something is reflecting on a lot of other areas in your life too, where you could refine. So it's important for you to ask yourself that question, right? And a few other things that I would be doing is you want to challenge that identity that you're currently stepping into and you're being like, oh, that's just not me, right? How do you know it's not you? How do you know it's not you? All right, do you know what your authentic self is? Likely not. Your higher self knows, and it's going to guide you towards that authentic and best self without any organic self, in a sense, the pure awareness self. And it's going to slowly get you there. However, what if the version you're being right now is the fake version? Right? You're like, oh, I'm trying to be confident. No, what if the confident you is the real you, right? Flipping the script is something that I teach in TPM, all right, my new book. And it's very, very advantageous and beneficial for people who want to maintain a proper lifestyle to actually inspire them instead of detract them away from what they're trying to create. So you might have a vision in your mind and a reality that you want to create, but your behaviors or self-sabotaging behaviors or certain behaviors that keep getting you back into that same pattern of behavior, right? So in a way, what you want to be doing is really implementing tools to get you to reprogram your mindset. So I do these $50 mindset reprogramming sessions. I don't do them with just anyone, so I'll have to interview you a little bit with a few questions to see if we get along. However, I find those sessions to be very powerful because what I will do is I will create your own affirmation subliminals for you so you can keep listening to them in your spare time on repeat. And I also have a few other files for you to actually release the negativity and the toxicity of your subconscious mind so it becomes open to the universe, and then you can actually implant those different beliefs in there, the new ones that you truly prefer, right? So that's a part of my academy as well that I do for people. However, it's also a session by itself. So if you are interested in that, feel free to reach out to me. But yeah, this is a really But yeah, guys, this is a mental block that I've noticed over and over and over again, and it really is about you stepping into that new identity and being able to act from that, acting not as if, but acting as is, right? Knowing that that is the norm and being able to live from there, like living from that state is very different. Your natural state is one that is abundant, that one that is free, that doesn't feel chained by society standards, expectations, cultural norms, it is that natural state. So really being able to fine tune that, capitalize on that, be able to um, find your true self within that state, and being able to just keep being and maintaining that is going to be ideal for anybody going on this journey of reaching flow awakening. All right, have an amazing day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary.